fines on that, we do get you off, and again, it's going to cost some money too with those fines. We do have smoking stops like at Reno, and the next stop, Winnemucca, will be a smoking stop. We'll be in Winnemucca here in about 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Joined you at Winnemucca, Nevada. We'll be taking you into Salt Lake City this evening and early morning. I'd like to welcome aboard those who joined us in Winnemucca. Left Winnemucca about 45 minutes behind schedule here. We should have that all made up by the time we reach Salt Lake City, if that is your destination or beyond. We should be back on time. Though we are on freight tracks, folks, so that can change, but that is our estimate at the time. Welcome aboard, folks. Elko, Nevada, about 2 hours from now, folks.
Wonderful pears, Bing cherries. It's one of the most fruitful parts of the entire state, and it has a new and growing wine industry. So we'll go by some vineyards as well from Book Cliffs and Colteris and several other of the great vineyards here in the Palisade area. And this area has also got some very fascinating geology. Look to the left, you'll see the Book Cliff Mountains, almost devoid of vegetation. That's because of the highly acidic clay soil. with a sandstone cap on top that gives it that plateau appearance. Contrast that with the mountain forward and to our right. That is the Grand Mesa, covered in lush, dense forest and aspen groves, lots of ponds and wildlife everywhere. That's because it has a volcanic cap or basalt rock that eroded into very rich soils that gave rise to those wonderful forests. So two completely different types of mountains separated by the Colorado River going between them, and Palisade that takes advantage of the river and the soil to create some of the greatest beaches on the entire planet. Fascinatingly chaotic shapes of stone that you'll be able to enjoy while we go through Beque Canyon. Folks, while we're in the canyon, I'm going to switch over to just doing scenic awareness narrative from the lounge car only, so that if you don't want to listen to my made-up stories, you can stay in your coach or sleeper. If you don't want to hear some of that nonsense, come on down to the lounge car. There's still a few seats open, and if you are in the lounge car, make sure that all the seats are available to others who might want to enjoy those beautiful, beautiful windows. Thank you. Hey, hello folks in the lounge car, this is Brad the conductor. We just went under I-70 and we're now going to follow the Colorado River. We will stay on the north bank of the river while I-70 clings to the south edge of the canyon into Beque Canyon. As we go along, you'll notice that there is some ice in the river, but it did not freeze over solid. It never does down here. We are in the warmest part of the state of Colorado, and believe it or not, our climate is not tremendously different than many places in Arizona and further down south in the southwest. And it's almost a microclimate, very popular with retirees who come for the milder climate while still being close to the high, cool Rocky Mountains in the summer.
Yeah, go for it.
Energy production is a huge deal in the state of Colorado. Not just oil and gas and coal, which we have a plethora of, but also we're getting more and more into the renewable energy industry. And if you go out to eastern Colorado, you'll see a company called Halliburton to drill a tremendous amount of oil and natural gas wells going east of here. Not in Beque Canyon so much, but beyond that in the Grand Valley. That area is a quite mature field now. Over the last 20 years, there's been an enormous amount of drilling. Those wells are producing almost autonomously nowadays with just maintenance required. And so the facility that you see coming up on our right, the Halliburton facility, is pretty much not needed anymore, not used, and has just recently closed down. And that's because the wells have been dug and are producing. One of the fun things of Colorado is rock shapes and formations. Look on the far wall of the canyon and look straight back right now, and you'll see a rock formation that appears to be a koala bear climbing the side of the canyon and kissing the mountain. As As we climb in altitude, we will drop in temperature, and the amount of ice on the Colorado River will continue to grow. We are reaching the very edge of the area where water can flow freely most of the time during the year. If you look to the left here in just a minute, you'll see a very unique phenomenon in here based on birds, sparrows. They will try to find a little niche in the cliff walls where it's safe from predators, and then their natural, how do I say this nicely? Yeah, what they do has acid in it, and that has caused little divots to form and then grow, and then once the divot's big, then the more birds come into it, and so we have very pocked holes all the way through this canyon, and those are caused by birds. Most people who are train fans would think that the most difficult places for the railroad to maintain the tracks through the Colorado Rockies would be deep in the canyons or going through some of the long tunnels. That's not true. We are going through the most difficult place for the railroad to maintain our right-of-way right now. This is what's called an arroyo. This is an area that will fill with mud when there's a massive thunderstorm in the high country above, bringing down loads of water, mud, rock, and silt that will fill up an area, and then we'll have to come in with bulldozers to clear off the tracks. The area that we're in right now is one of those choke points. There was no other place to put the tracks, and so they were put here. The railroad has to come in about once every 3 years after one of these very rare but very intense massive storms, just to chisel out our path so that we can continue through and not be buried in mud. Folks, quick scenic awareness announcement. We're going by Grand Valley High School. If you look to the right, they have a glorious high school with a wonderful athletic facility. This is all made possible by the advent of certain taxes on certain agricultural products that have become legalized in Colorado specifically over the last few years. It's a wonderful thing in some ways. Thank you.
This is Donna, how to use your snowblower.
You got me my daughter.
Yes, I will always.
Well, you can describe on each end of the railroad. I've heard Chicago there. How's it work? Does everyone, because they vote in Iowa first, right? Does everyone vote, or do you have to be a part of one?
I was a little girl in Iowa. I don't remember it. I've been in Michigan since I've been an adult.
And it's sort of the first, Iowa and New Hampshire are the two places where they have their primary elections earliest. So that's why
Because there are these people who believe in, oh yeah, President Spencer and friends. It's that same thing with Trump stands for, but I think the history of the empire makes it I just hope it's not a trend. I hope it's a blip, not a trend.
Yeah, I really, I'm doing everything I can to make it a blip. Because if it's not a blip, we're very, very deep trouble.
It's also hard for me to say because I live in London, which is actually one of the most liberal. And he got in because of the people who were allowed to vote. So it would be like Bernie Sanders, you know,
we have a flourless chocolate cake. It's like a rich chocolate brownie with fudge.
Not here, but I think in the higher parts of the mountains, the snow is so deep that if you step into it, you probably sink up to your chest.
Really?
Yeah, and still not be hitting the ground.
Wow.
Look, there's no here. They live in where? how do you get there? And who else lives anywhere near them?
Well, there's a road right over here.
I guess there's some.
There's a road right over here, so that's
Where does it lead?
It's been pretty low key all day today because we haven't had too many people on. Now all the skier folks and folks that got on at Fraser's put a lot of them on. I think they might like to sit in there and enjoy it as well. So, one person, one seat. If you have personal belongings on the seat next to you, please take that off so someone can sit there. If you're at a table, please only take 1/4 of the table. That means 1/4 of the seat, 1/4 of the table. Make sure the rest is open.
We are ready for the 5 o'clock seating. If you have a dinner reservation for 5 o'clock, please make your way to the dining car. Once you get to the dining car, we do ask you to wait to be seated by the technician. Again, this is our 5 o'clock seating for dinner.
That's pretty. Man, that's gorgeous. This is what happens when you get off the I-70.
He's the one who always wants a little bit of your wine, right? Is that what it is? You want a half bottle of that?
going to be missed connections as next crew gets on here in Ottumwa. They will know by the time you're crossing the mighty Mississippi in Burlington, Iowa, what they're going to do about missed connections. So again, just a little more than 3 hours behind, and this next crew gets on will know information by the time you get through Burlington, Iowa, what they're going to do about missed connections. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of your Lincoln-based conductors, we do thank you for riding the California Zephyr. Have a great day.
They can have it.
I
That
like
guy
it.
over
I
there.
like the snow.
See, those two guys, they love the snow. And she loves the snow.
No, she doesn't love
She
the
don't
snow.
like the snow.
No.
So, Mr. D, are you leaving the train now?
No, ma'am, you stuck with me all the way.
Rats.
Okay, all right.
And I'm wearing another jacket and another.
That's because you're still going to be cold.
So you're gonna visit
Yeah.
Ottumwa, huh?
Check it out
Knit,
for a
right?
minute. Yes. I'll take a look, see how it is. Maybe for a second. It's going to be
Are you a
pretty
MASH
cold.
fan?
You're underdressed, definitely. For
Yeah.
I've got a t-shirt under this.
this weather. Yeah, well, you're slightly underdressed.
Please stop. Watch out.
Looks icy out here.
Here, I have a
It
good
is
idea.
really icy.
You guys can enjoy.
Smart man, smart man. You're so gracious.
Alrighty. I'm blocking the wind for you.
Woo! That's a little chilly.
Yeah.
Careful of the ice.
Yeah, it's slippery.
Snow is less slippery.
Whew.
So early in the day, I just went on to Grand Central train that gets in at 6. Even those houses, they look like icicles.
Wonder how old those houses are. They look pretty old.
Yeah, they do. Some of them look very old. See, look at that building too. A lot of the buildings here.
No. Oh no, Chef can eat some of it. It's all right. I'll be right back.
I remember being surprised the first time I crossed the country. Not so much here on the east, getting towards the middle, but on the west, like how much brick there was in the middle of the country. I just assumed that bricks were mostly East Coast things, not. But a lot of the heartland has bricks also.
Yeah, there's a lot of brick.
I guess, look at over here. Nick.
Oh, wow. I gotta get a shot of that.
Actually, the least I could cancel shit. Other than that,
amazing.
I know, I was just thinking, oh, there's some people. You better have a good running car, I was just saying.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to break down. Here's people walking.
Burlington, Iowa.
What is it?
Burlington, Iowa.
Burlington, Iowa.
Maybe they're getting on the train.
Oh, is this a stop?
Yeah.
Oh, right. That's why there's people walking. Let me get
That's
out
probably
of
the
here.
only reason.
Let me get out of here.
Doing all right here?
Yeah, what do you think? It's 1.
Well, I did the calculation. If you're going to Chicago, let's see, I think probably 5:30, 6 o'clock would be as soon as we get in. Yeah.
Cutting it close.
Well, we left.
Oh man, that's
We left
definitely moved.
Mount Pleasant almost 3.5 hours behind. The earliest we can ever get to Chicago is 2. We can make up 50 minutes there because it's supposed to be 2:50. So starting at 2, so you got 3.5 hours. 2, 3, 4, 5. You're from about 5.5, 5:30. But we got to back in and everything.
Now, will they hold the train because we're supposed to get like
Once
a
in a while, if
6:40
it's just a
train?
few minutes, they'll do it. Once
Only
in a while.
a few minutes?
I mean, they won't hold it for like an hour, hour and a half, or 2 hours, because all those other people on that train. What happens is with AMTRAK, we're supposed to have priority on the tracks. So the freight companies, because are regulated, so they're forced to make us use the tracks, and we're supposed to get priority. So they know our schedule, and they're supposed to move over if they're in the way and give us priority. But if we leave late, we lose that priority. So they can do it with us. Whatever they want. They don't want us on track. So then every time there's a freight train 20 miles away, they'll be over on the side until a freight train comes by over on the side. So if they hold one train like an hour, then that train will end up being 5, 6, 7 hours late. And then those people have connections as well. So it depends. Lately they used to hold trains more. They don't do it so much anymore. Unless it's a few minutes.
Really?
And they got a lot of people. If they, sometimes they'll have you. As we get closer to Chicago, the conductors have a plan because it's impossible to make plans now because we gotta go all the way across Illinois.
This is Mississippi, right?
Yep, Mississippi. There's probably bald eagles. They're in the trees up there. See one of them?
Oh wow!
Oh my God!
No way!
Those are all bald eagles, and sometimes you see them on the ice fishing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. There's like 20 or 30 of them that live around here.
Wow.
Only in the winter when they leave.
Really?
I've had one fly chasing off like a crow or some other bird, fly right along the train. But sometimes you'll see them actually sitting on the ice fishing.
But if you get like a 640 connection or something, you should make it. If it's a
You should. If we go straight in at the limit that we're allowed to go, and nothing else holds us up, you'll make that. I would think, based on my math, yeah.
and final stop of this evening will be Chicago Union Station. Chicago Union Station will be our last stop in approximately 45 minutes. 45 minutes to Chicago Station.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get there, baby.
And ladies and gentlemen, those of you located here in the 631 sleeper, this is D, your car attendant, Dariel Flukers. And as you heard, our next and final station stop in about 30 minutes or so will be Chicago. Chicago, our next and final station stop. I would like to say it was a pleasure serving you all. I do hope that my service was up to your expectations, and I do hope to see you out on the rails again. Please check all around your rooms, underneath your seats, in your closets. Make sure that you have all of your personal belongings. Don't be the one to forget something.
Attention conductor, which track we coming in on? Would that be an east side or west side? East side or west side?
Waiting on a call back now to see what track we're coming in on. Backing in, track 14. Round the wide, backing in, track 14.
You can go ahead, he's gonna have to.
All right. That should be it, huh? Okay. Right. Got it? Yeah, I got it. D. A pleasure. Thank you. You have a good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have your attention, please. In just a moment, you will be arriving at Cumberland, Maryland Station. If Cumberland, Maryland Station is your destination, please take the time now to gather your belongings from the luggage racks above your head as well as around your seats. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, in just a moment, you will be arriving at Cumberland, Maryland Station. If Cumberland, Maryland Station is your destination, please take the time now to gather your belongings from the luggage racks above your head as well as around your seats. Please remember to exit downstairs. We see an AMTRAK employee. Now our doors will open. Also, ladies and gentlemen, here at Cumberland, Maryland, we will be 2 stops. The first stop will be to change engineers, and the second and final stop will be for the coaches. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, 2 stops here at Cumberland, Maryland. The first stop will be to change engineers, and the second and final stop will be for the coaches. For those of you who would like to step off the train for a brief stretch and smoke break, please make your way to the second car behind the observation car. That's 2 cars behind the observation car. For those of you unfamiliar with the observation car, it is the car with the window from ceiling to floor. You will walk back 2 cars behind the observation car and wait downstairs for the employees' further instruction. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Cumberland, Maryland Station. All right.
Okay, ma'am, sir, I'm gonna let you off right here, but it's gonna be, it works like this. You can do a quick smoke now and step off here and step back on. If you wanna stay out a long time, they're gonna pull the train now, you're gonna have to get back on in the coach. Icy, watch your step. Thank you. Ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? In just a few moments, we will be arriving at Martinsburg Station. If Martinsburg Station is your destination, please take the time now to gather your belongings from the luggage racks above your head as well as around your seats. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments, we will be arriving at Martinsburg Station. If Martinsburg Station is your destination, please take the time now to gather your belongings from the luggage racks above your head as well as around your seats. And please remember to use all handrails and guardrails as you make your way downstairs. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Martinsburg Station now arriving. and gentlemen, we are now arriving at Harper's Ferry Station. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are now arriving at Harper's Ferry Station. For those of you who are departing here, please take the time now to gather your belongings from the luggage racks above your head as well as around your seats. And please remember to use all handrails and guardrails as you make your way down the stairs. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Harper's Ferry Station now arriving. Conducting the crew, 23 track. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? We are now arriving at Washington, D.C. Union Station. Once again, we are now arriving at Washington, D.C. Union Station. Please take the time now to gather your belongings for the luggage racks above your head as well as around your seats. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are now arriving at Washington, D.C. Union Station. On behalf of all the employees, we appreciate you riding with us today and hope you have a pleasant afternoon.